Saxon Course 2, Lesson 104 is semicircles, arcs, and sectors. So a semicircle is half of a circle. Thus, the length of a semicircle is half the circumference of the circle. Okay? So I want to find the perimeter of this figure, and then dimensions are in meters. So the length of the semicircle is half the circumference of a circle, whose diameter is 10. So the length of my semicircle is equal to pi times diameter divided by 2, because it's only half of the circle. So that's going to equal 3.14 times 10, since my diameter is 10, because we show the radius here, divided by 2. Well, I can cancel the 2 and the 10. 2 becomes a 1, 10 becomes a 5. So I have 3.14 times 5, which is equal to 15.7 meters, just about. Okay, so that's just my semicircle. 15.7. But I need to find the entire shape. So now I'm going to find the perimeter of the rest of this figure, the square. So the perimeter is going to equal 10 meters. Okay, that's going to be the length of this side here, because that's going to be the same as the diameter, plus 4 meters here, plus another 4 meters down at the bottom, plus the 15.7 that we found for the circumference of the semicircle. Okay, and that's going to equal 33.7 meters. Okay. Another example, find the area of this figure. Dimensions are in meters. So we know we're going to divide this into two parts. So we have the area of the first part, which is my circle, which will be half of the area of a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared, and since it's half of that, we're going to divide it by 2. And then the second area will be the area of the rectangle, which is length times width. Okay, so that will be, so for the first part, it's going to be 3.14 times the radius squared, which is 5 squared, divided by 2. Okay, so that is 3.14 times by 25 divided by 2, which will equal 39.25 meters squared. So area 1 equals 39.25 meters squared. Okay, now we'll go ahead and do the second area. Length times width, so the length is going to be equal, or the length will be equal to 10, because the length is going to be the same as the diameter, times the width, which is 4 meters. So that will be 40 meters squared. So area 2 equals 40 meters squared. So I can add these together, and I end up with 79.25 meters squared for the entire area. This part is arcs. So we can calculate the lengths of arcs and the areas of sectors by determining the fraction of the circle represented by the arc or the sector. So if I want to find the area of the shaded part of this circle, since the central area of the shaded sector measures 60 degrees. So this part in here would have to be 60 degrees because the outside was 300 and the entire thing has to be 360. So my area of that 60-degree sector has to be pi r squared divided by 6. Because 60 degrees is equal to 1/6 of my circle. Okay, because 60 divided by 360 equals 1/6. So it's going to be pi r squared divided by 6. So I put in the numbers, I get 3.14 times 6 centimeters times 6 centimeters, because that's squared, divided by 6. I can go ahead and cancel 6 and 6. Those become 1s. So I have 3.14 times 6 centimeters, which is equal to 18.84 centimeters squared. Okay, so an arc is a part of the circumference of a circle. So here, in this figure, our central angle AOC is equal to 70 degrees. So I'm going to put that in, 70 degrees. Then it wants to know what the measure of the major arc ADC is equal to. Okay, so an arc can be described by the measure of its central angle. The arc in the interior of the 70-degree angle, AOC, is a 70-degree arc. However, the larger arc from point A through point C has to be 360 degrees minus that 70 degrees, which, when we subtract that, is equal to 290 degrees. So, the measure of that major arc will be 290 degrees. Okay. On this one we have a minor arc with a radius of 2, centered on the origin, is drawn from the positive x-axis to the positive y-axis. What is the length of the arc? So a minor arc has to be less than 180 degrees. We see that this arc is 1/4 of a circle, which 1/4 of a circle is equal to 90 degrees. The length of the arc is 1/4 of the circumference of a circle, with a radius of 2 and a diameter of 4. So the length of that arc has to equal pi times diameter, which is circumference, divided by 4, because it's 1/4 of an entire circle. Okay, so that equals 3.14 times 4 divided by 4. Well, the 4's cancel, so my answer is 3.14 units is the length of my arc. Okay, and that's it for this lesson.